And for a dry weekend, Sabrina.
Hi Jen, good question. Well, after all the recent rainfall we've seen so far this month, I do have more wet weather on the way. But in terms of this weekend, it is a tale of two halves. So wet Saturday, but Sunday onwards, it does turn significantly drier. But with that, we're also on a bit of a temperature roller coaster. So let's start off then by talking about the weather warning. This starts tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and expires Sunday morning at 6 a.m. This warning could well be tweaked as we go through this weekend, but I think the general theme is through this warning area, we could see around 20 to 30 millimetres of rainfall. In some of the wettest locations, we could see around 60 to 80 millimetres of rainfall, and that's not exclusively for high ground. So I think because of all the wet weather we have seen this month, the ground is saturated in places, the continued chance for some localised flooding. Today itself then, it has been pretty mild and humid, even warm in a few spots where there's been a bit of sunshine. As for this evening, clouding over widely with more in the way of significant rain pushing in. So some of that is set to be on the heavy side. Overnight lows typically staying on the mild side, 13 or 14 Celsius for those towns and cities. Into tomorrow's forecast then, plenty of rain on the way, whilst there could be a few dry breaks. I think in general expect some persistent rain. Some of that is also set to be on the heavy side. Plenty of cloud, there could be some mist and fog in places too. Temperatures then peaking around 14 to 18 Celsius. The winds initially from southerly directions tending to veer around more to the north as the day wears on. Then wet weather is expected Saturday night into the early hours of Sunday morning. So again, that will tend to pivot across the country. Some spells on the heavy side, which could cause some disruption. Then by the time we get to Sunday, a change in air mass. So instead of it coming up from the south or southwest, it's coming down from the north. And as a result, you will notice the drop in temperatures, especially when given some of the strength of those winds. So in more detail for Sunday then, any of the early cloud and rain clear in, and then we're left with something drier and brighter, more in the way of sunshine developing, winds coming down from the north. So I think the temperatures on paper around 12 to 14 Celsius. Factor in the wind, it will feel a little bit cooler than what you see here, but definitely more in the way of sunshine. And speaking of sunshine, it's felt like a bit of a stranger so far this month, hasn't it? But the outlook does show more in the way of sunshine, drier conditions too. So signs of something a bit more promising after the wet month we've had. Jen?
Good news, Sabrina. Thank you.